Good afternoon. Hello. That was an informative and what was it? It was an excellent session in the morning. I hope everybody would have got their doubts cleared and would have learned many new things in archery. All the coaches and students, everybody would have learned something out of it, and we are very happy to have such great personalities from our archery fraternity to give us more information about archery and learning techniques and etc. So now we are into the afternoon session. In this afternoon session, we will be having all the psychological and mind coaches from different fraternities to help us out, to clear us out about our doubts regarding preparation for our sports and after sports situations which we face every day. It will be helpful for every athlete from the beginner to the national level actually. So please pay your kind attention, and after end of each session you can have your doubts like the morning session also. So now I would like to welcome again our director, Mrs. Rajarajeshwari Uday Kumar, to start the speech.
Good afternoon to one and all who have gathered for the International Webinar 2020 for the afternoon session. And once again, greetings from Eagle Archery Academy. I hope you would have enjoyed the morning session, and also the afternoon session will be very much informative. So please keep watching. And to begin with, for the afternoon session, I welcome Mr. Saravana Kumar, co-founder of M4, for this webinar. He is a mind trainer for the sports people. I welcome you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Kumaran Devendra Pillai. He is a chiropractic in the field of physiotherapy in Malaysia. Chiropractic is a new technique practiced for the ailment of sports injuries. Thirdly, I would like to welcome Mr. Dayanand, the founder of Dayanand Solutions Bangalore, and he is also our CFO for the Eagle Archery Academy. And last but not the least, I would like to welcome our speaker, Mr. Purushothaman, founder and director of Education IAS Academy in Chennai. And interesting information about him is that he is the old student of the Eagle Archery Academy. And once again, finally, I welcome all the archers, coaches, physiotherapists, and sports enthusiasts for this afternoon session of this webinar 2020. Hope it will be much informative, and keep watching it and be benefited. I welcome all of you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So now I would like to welcome Mr. Saravanan, the founder of M4.
First on the video, to stop or sharp on. You want to.
It's a great pleasure to be a part of this international seminar. A very good afternoon to everyone. So I would like to thank Mr. Uday Kumar of Eagle Archery Academy for giving me this opportunity to be amidst you all. Mr. Kishore, I requested one video to be played. Was it given to you, sir?
Yes, sir. Actually, I think they will play now. Just a minute, sir. Meanwhile, you just give some bites about you. Meanwhile, we'll make sure that the video gets up.
So, as Mr. Kishore said, we are a non-profit initiative to create awareness on the importance of mind training. Okay, it started by former Indian cricketer Subramaniam Badrinath and launched by MS Dhoni this year, March 11th. It was launched. And our initiative is backed by Virat Kohli, Anil Kumble, Brian Lara, all cricketers. But though we have that strong cricket connect, we aim at let's say passing on our knowledge and services to all the sports people, not only limited to cricket, to other things and all. So how this started is, as everyone know, a lot of people always say that in any sport, 80% is mind and 20% is skill. Some people say 90% mind and 10% skill. So sport, it varies. Some people say 70%. So you must be hearing this statement, and it's like one cliche these days. Everyone telling this, it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. But we were discussing what we are doing for that. Okay, we know that mind is important. How many people are focusing on that? For example, skill is 20% means you are training close to 3 to 4 hours a day to improve the skill. Am I right? Okay. So if it's 80% means, then how many hours you have to train on your mind? So this is the question we used to ask. Okay, everyone is telling that it's important, but are you spending enough time? So that's when most of the time they say, yeah, we listen to some motivational speeches and all these things will come. Okay, that's when we say that every day, like you train your body and skill, you train your body in the gym, you go to your field to train your skills. Like that, you have to train your mind on a day-to-day basis, at least 15 to 20 minutes. This is our motto. This is how we want to bring in the culture. Okay. So, like any other sport, I'm a golfer. Okay. Golf, generally, they say that you're playing against yourself because no one is throwing a ball at you or no one is serving at you like in tennis. Okay. It's your thing. And archery is the same thing. Because, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, tell me.
Your video is ready. If you take a moment, we'll first put the video and then you can continue your speech immediately after the videos.
It's a small introductory video about our services. Can we watch the video, please?
Yes, yes.
All of this could fail if you are not ready here. M4 is a non-profit initiative offering mind conditioning programs in order to achieve peak performance in sports. You know for a fact that you have the ability to be great at your game, but anxiety, self-doubt, fear, all these things can affect your performance. There is a winning formula. Performance is what you get when you remove interferences from your potential. That is what we want to train you for. Imagine a team of world-renowned sports psychologists and mind coaches all working in tandem with you to remove the gap between your ability and your performance. I'm joined in this initiative by Mr. Saravanan, who comes with experience in mind skills training. We share a common vision, which is to stop you from stopping yourself. If you're a player, coach, or a parent, M4 is there for you. Mind skills training will no more be an afterthought. It will be a default for every player. This is my dream for M4, and that is my promise to you.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, you can go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for playing the video. As Badri was telling, your performance is equal to your potential minus interference. So if you remove the interferences from your potential, you can achieve that peak performance. So the interferences might be in different forms. It changes from person to person. For some person, it might be an anxiety. Some person, it might be a fear. So many other things. So our motive in M4 is to work on those interferences and help the athletes to remove the interferences through some simple mind strategies. See, once again, we always say we are not psychologists. Okay, psychologists are like surgeons. Okay, when you have any serious injury, you go to a surgeon for an operation or something. Okay. When you have a normal problem, you go to a physio and other things. Correct. So like that, we are more into the first stage of we in fact train the athletes. Okay, on a day, give them strategies which if they implement in day-to-day basis, they don't need a psychologist in future. Hope you understand that, because you have to relieve your stress or tensions on a day-to-day basis. You should not allow to accumulate. So since I have a very limited time, because I am a guest speaker and some renowned speakers are coming, this is a huge subject, the mind training. So all I like to say to athletes present here, the archers present here, please spend a lot of time, not a lot of time, please spend time on a day-to-day basis to train your mind. Okay. So there are some skills like visualization, thought reframing, self profiling and goal setting, and anchoring process. So you talk to your mind trainers who are all you're able to access. Okay. One point I want to highlight in this particular thing is, see, we like to work a lot on the coach-player communication. Okay. See, most of the programs in M4, we are doing it for the coaches. Why we are doing it for the coaches? Because if we empower one coach, we can empower 20 to 30 students. Okay, we cannot be going and reaching out every student or every players. Okay, so what we thought was we will talk to the coaches. Coaches are like gods to the athletes. Correct. Coaches have got that special relationship. If you ask an athlete, for them the coach is everything. They look up to the coach. Okay, so now we have worked with some more than 100 coaches now in different things in past 3-4 months. Okay, so we are trying to improve certain communication of the coaches now. Okay, that's what Dhoni, when we launched, he had a beautiful program. Okay, he was we had some 30 top coaches in city, right, from cricket, golf, tennis, table tennis. Okay, Dhoni 2 hours he spent, and he was telling these coaches. Okay, though Dhoni is not a coach, you know how mentally strong he is and how he has groomed the team. Okay, so he was beautifully telling the coaches how the players are so fragile, how you have to take care of them. So many coaches were asking Dhoni, what will you tell a player when he's not performing? What will you tell him? We haven't seen you shouting at a player. You always, so he always says that, see, every player is different. Okay, I understand the player. I understand the strength of the player and use him according to his strength. I don't change it. We are very fragile, so I don't even shout it. I know I have to tell them, okay, you are good at that. I'll give him false confidence, all these things. So he was requesting those coaches, like, you should communicate you should observe the players. Okay, that's why the coach-player communication is very important. Okay, because we have seen some coaches, I have seen, if a player is failing consecutively, I've seen the coaches shouting at them, saying that this game won't come to you. You better look for some other job or something like that. So that's what we say, the communication that will break the player. Okay. So we request the coach to tell the nice things to the thing. Okay, not to break him. You have to motivate him. Same way, the player should also communicate his or her feelings to the coach, because every player goes through a lot of ups and downs. Okay, and they should not allow this stress to build. Okay, they should find someone to talk to, and they should build that rapport with the coach and talk to the coach what they are going through, pressure. Then only the coach will help you. If you think that if I go and talk to the coach about my mind thing, they will think that I am a weak person. If you have that feeling, then you will hide your feelings, and it will only create bigger problems for you. That's why we always tell the players, you have to talk to your coach. Coach-player relationship is like an amazing thing. So that's why now we are training the coaches how to observe the player, what the player is going through. Okay, and accordingly. Another important thing we are trying to tell the coaches here is, everyone has got a different learner style, and many people here would have known about it. For some people, if you tell, they will listen. For some people, we have to put a drawing and show. For some people, we have to tell with a feel, like, hey, you are a good guy, you are a super player, you are good performer, like that, with a feel oriented. So this learner styles are different. If a coach is telling someone who likes to learn only through drawings or things, whatever the coach tells, the things won't go into the mind of that athlete. Okay, so we are training the coaches to understand the learner style of the athletes, because they'll more effectively can pass on the knowledge. So these are the areas we are working on. So once again, I would like to say, because already it's 10 minutes now, I want to sum it up by telling there are different mind skills, okay, like visualization, anchoring, goal setting, thought reframing, so many other things, breathing. Once again, breathing plays a very important role. We teach athletes who we are training on breathing practice, how to relieve stress. For example, since we work with a lot of cricketers, we tell the bowlers how to take when they are bowling, how to take a small gap and do a different type of breathing and all these things. And for archery, definitely breathing is going to be very important, because that is going to relax you. And when you are more relaxed, you are better at your aim and whatever it is. So two key things you keep in mind. One is breathing and relaxation. One is coach-player communication. Okay. See, M4 is always there. It's a non-profit initiative. Any players, any doubt, they can ask some questions. We can help you in certain mind skills, and we can also guide you to good mind trainers. Okay, and we can talk to you. And if you need you need someone to talk to, if you are feeling the stress, you can't share it with your thing. You can share it with us. That's why M4 platform is there. You can come talk to us. We can give you some solutions. Okay. So with this, I'd like to wind up my speech, and I would love to meet you guys on a bigger program where I can talk about various skills. You can keep it in your armor. Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. Anything, Kishore? Any questions or anything?
We'll ask for just 1 minute. Anybody has any doubts regarding whatever Sir said? Just a minute. We shall have only a couple of questions. Anybody has any questions?
Sir, I have some doubts, sir.
Yes. Please ask.
Tell me.
Sir,
What's your name?
can you please, sir, I am Srihari from Rockford Archery Academy, sir.
Okay. What's your age?
Sir, I am 16, sir.
Okay. What level you competed?
Sir, I have completed 10th.
No, competing. Which level you competed? You're a big
national level.
Very nice. Please ask your question.
Sir, can you tell some psychological exercise other than breathing, sir? Or psychological training?
Yeah. See, have you heard of this visualization practice?
Yes, sir.
Visualization in imagery is a very, very important thing. See, everyone knows about visualization, but only thing is it has to be done the way, because there are techniques to do the visualization. It should be closer to real. It should be involving the senses. That's what they say.
Okay.
That's why they call it mental imagery. Okay, because you have to involve your senses. So when you're visualizing your performance, okay, it should be closer to the real. So the effort has to be taken by you, whoever is doing the visualization. It should be so close to the actual scenario. For example, tomorrow you're going to take part in a tournament. You should visualize the exact how the stadium will be, how the sound will be, even the smell. If you have been there, even the smell, the sweat smell or some smell. So that you have to go into a sort of a meditative mode. Okay, you have to understand. You have to imagine the senses also. Okay, the more real it is, the chances are that it will definitely happen. Okay. So a lot of people they close their eyes and think that they are playing well, or they are shooting well, or whatever it is. Okay, that is not visualization. You have to go deep into it, feel everything, the way how you take, how you aim, all the things. Okay, once you start visualizing it, definitely when you go to the tournament or when you're in the same position now for real, okay, you'll have a feeling that you've already been there, you've already been confidently taking your shots and other things. Okay, So that confidence will help you to counter any anxiety or anything. So I would love to say that visualization is one of the most important thing, and there are some lot of videos about visualization on YouTube. You can search YouTube and see the visualization practices. You can also connect with us through our website m4.in. Okay, we'll also share some inputs on it. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, one more last question. Any other?
Sir, Jishnu, I have a doubt. From Amazing Archery Academy.
Yes, please ask.
And visualize the many things like I'm shot archery and I won gold medal in one things like that I have visualized. But I have gotten very happiest feel. How can I take that can be come in real, or how can I take it when I visualize and get happy?
I'm not able to understand Vishnu.
Listen, he is asking that he has visualized that as if he got a gold medal.
Okay.
And he also visualized that he was very happy.
Okay.
He is asking how to take that thing actually.
Yeah, you did you win the gold medal?
Yeah.
You won it after visualization.
Yes.
Very good, very good. Then visualization is working for you. You have to keep doing the visualization.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, I thought I have gotten gold medal in match. I also have got the gold medal in match.
Very good, very good. That's
Okay.
a very nice thing to hear. Congrats.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Kishore. Thanks for
Okay,
the opportunity.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Actually, due to time constraint, we need to move to the next speaker.
Yeah,
But we
I totally understand.
Really love to have you for a better session, for a longer session next time, sir. Very soon.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Thank
It will
you.
be a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Now, I would like to welcome. Yes, Mr. Purushothaman. Before telling about his designation, I'm really proud and happy that he was a former student of Eagle Archery Academy. Now he is running an IAS Academy called Education. Today he is about to deliver some mind coach, and he's also the mind coach of Eagle Archery Academy. And today he is about to deliver some important things to look upon before and after competition things, and regarding our mind, keeping our mind stable. So now I welcome Mr. Purushothaman to deliver his webinar.
Thank you, Kishore. Thank you so much for your welcome speech. I hope that I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Purushot, and I'm the founder and director of Education IAS Academy. And also, I make sure that Eagle Archery Academy archers are mentally fit and they could able to manage their mental pressure. So I sincerely want to thank you first, because when other people are just slogging in their coach and watching some movies, you people have enrolled in a webinar and you are trying to enhance your skills with the option of internet technology which is available now. And I want to thank Mr. Uday Kumar, because you see that when so many people are just waiting for the grounds to open, he decided to have a webinar where else he can bring in some international coaches and help you people to enhance your skill. So thank you, Uday sir. Thank you so much for setting up this meeting. And more than that, I wish to thank the speakers who have preceded me and the people who are going to succeed me after me, whoever is going to talk, and before me, whoever have spoken. You see that even they have spent their energy, they have spent their time to make sure that archery is getting developed and you people are becoming a better sports person. Okay, specifically, I want to thank people like If you see Ricky Chia, Kim, Martin Sudhakar sir, Mahasingh sir, and specifically Sarana Kumar sir, because I was watching his video, it was fantastic. In fact, he put the entire content which I want to talk in a nutshell. Okay, so and when I visited his website M4, it was fantastic, and it really just visiting the website will make you people understand that what is the importance of mental training and mind fitness. Okay, so if when you people are free, visit his website m4.in, which gives you a wealth of information. Specifically, don't forget to watch this video about mental coaching on golf. Okay, which you could able to apply in archery as well. And thanks for Rajeshwari madam to ensure that Uday Kumar sir is spending all the time in these kind of activities, and she's taking care of other things. So getting into this, I wish to make it a point that today I have chosen a topic. I request the host to help me in terms of screen sharing. He has disabled my screen share. The host, can you able to enable me to share the screen?
Done, sir. You can share now.
Okay. Thank you. So I have chosen to speak on three important technical terms. One is on about neuroplasticity, and another one is on psycho-cybernetics. Both seems to be a very jargonic words, but however, I have demystified those jargonic words because majority of the participants here are small kids. So to make the small kids understand, we have a story, two stories, and also we have an activity. So pay attention, because at the end of the activity, you might have to come up with the results. And so we'll make it a point that you understand both the concept of psycho-cybernetics as well as neuroplasticity rightly. Okay, so show present overview. Okay. So these two are the important words which we are going to discuss in the next few minutes. One is about psycho-cybernetics and another one is neuroplasticity. Adding to this, I will be explaining you something about reticular activating system. Since there is psycho-cybernetics, neuroplasticity, reticular activating system, never ever confuse. You no need to understand the meaning of these. You no need to understand the words. You no need to remember these words. But the context is important. Just you have to remember the meaning and what does it means. That's it. That is what is required out of this session. So neuroplasticity, psycho-cybernetics. Neuroplasticity. What is neuroplasticity? Neuroplasticity is, it says that the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout the life. So archery is a beautiful game which can be practiced by even a small kid. And even a person after his retirement, he could able to take up a bow and he could able to perform. And there are so many people who are performing that as well. So at any point of time, archery can be learned. Similarly, your brain's neural network in the sense, the communication methods between the brain's cells can be formed and it can be reformed at any age. And the more you work on certain things, the neural pathways will become thicker and thicker and thicker. I will explain you with the story shortly. So this is just a meaning, that is, the brain cells could able to communicate, and with this brain cells of communication, the neural, that is the way they get communicated, will grow gradually. Then the meaning of psycho-cybernetics is, psycho-cybernetics, the science of communication and automatic guidance system or automatic communication system, or it will steer your mind to a productive goal. So identifying the goal, and Saravanan sir in the previous session, he told about visualization. So identifying the goal and making it a point that you are automatically guided towards that goal is the aim of psycho-cybernetics. It is not that you push yourself towards a goal. You will just sit as a driver and you will just move and steer it, and automatically you will be achieving the goal. That is the methodology called psycho-cybernetics. So psycho-cybernetics is the one which is mental, and neuroplasticity is physical. Psycho-cybernetics happens at a mental level, and neuroplasticity happens at a physical level. That is, it will actually form a neural pattern in your brain. So we'll see that part. Sometime back in NASA, you people would have heard about NASA. NASA, which sends people to various places. In fact, it claims that it has sent people to moon, and it regularly sends people to the spaceships. And people there in the space will have to undergo several different atmospheric conditions. There is no atmosphere, in fact, but they will have to face unexpected events in the space. For that purpose, what NASA did was they do several experiments. Among those several experiments, one particular experiment is they will give a goggle to all the people in the training camp. This goggle, when you put it, immediately it will show everything inverted. So, that is, everything will be seen as inverted. So, all these people were done with an MRI scan, and then they have given the goggles. So, they had the duty is from the moment they wake up in the morning, they should not open their eyes, they have to wear the goggles. Okay, when they go to bed, they have to close their eyes and then they have to remove the goggles. So they started using it, and many people felt a slippery feeling because everything is inverted. Everything is inverted. எல்லாமே தலைகீழ தெரியுது. So அதனால எப்படி இதை மேனேஜ் பண்றதுன்னு சொல்லி நிறைய பேர் இந்த goggles போட்டு practice பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தாங்க. Gradually, they could able to accommodate themselves. They could able to move forward. They could able to walk. They could not able to bang. They don't bang anywhere else. So gradually, they are moving forward. Suddenly, one day, around the 17th day, there was a miracle on one person. For one person, when he removes the goggle, he could able to see straight. When he wears the goggle, still he could able to see straight. So he was really surprised, and he went to the NASA administration and he told that, sir, I'm using this goggle. In spite of that, I could able to see it straight. Then the 18th day, 2 more people came with the same content. By 21st day, almost 95% of the people could able to see the things straight, even they are wearing the goggles. So then they were taken an MRI scan, and the scientists compared the earlier MRI scan with the latest MRI scan after some 20 days or 21 days. At that time, they found a very uninvented or unexplored or unthought process. That is, the brain have created a new nerve, new neural pattern to help the person see it straight. So, what NASA could able to understand from this is, when the brain is given with a challenge and the challenge persists for 17 to 21 days, automatically the brain will evolve itself to solve the challenge. It might be any kind of challenge. So you are practicing archery one day and you are in leave for 2 days, it is not going to help, because the brain could not able to make up the neural pattern. The strain, the stress, the feel, everything has to happen for more than 17 days, at least 21 days. Then the NASA administration also examined certain people, calling them, how come you people don't get the goggles straight? Because 90% of the people, even they are wearing the goggles, they can see straight. But 10% of the people, they could not able to see straight. Still, they are seeing it inverted. And then those people admitted, we are sorry, sir. On the 15th day, actually, I removed the goggles and I was just watching it as it is. So these people cheated. The cheated people could not able to acquire the results because the brain could not able to evolve to the in terms of facing the challenge. But alternatively, the people who took up the challenge for 21 days or more, they could able to find that they have physiology have evolved to handle the challenge. In the same way, when you are practicing archery, make it a point that you ensure that you give challenge to your mind as well as body. But in a relaxed, it should not be strained. In a relaxed state, you should challenge yourself and you have to practice it. Whether it's imagery practicing or physical practicing, You have to tell your coach, I'm going to come. That is the reason the success of summer vacation courses are very high compared to weekly 2 days, weekly 3 days courses. So you have to practice. Even if your coach is not available over there, make it a point that you in your house take the tube, practice, or create a mental situation, and you start practicing in terms of doing that. Why you want to practice it? Because first your brain and the physiology has to evolve. Once that evolution is done, the rest is you are going to make history. Very simple. But without that evolution, how hard you are going to pamper yourself, it's not going to produce any results. So that is the reason Uday sir, whenever he talks to me, he speaks about camping, the importance of camping. Camping for 21 days, camping for 18 days, and every night and day shooting. So he always comes up with such kind of experimental ideas, which is fantastic as well. So I strongly recommend you people to understand what is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is very simple. When you provide a challenge to the brain and the challenge persists for 21 days, automatically your brain will find a solution to solve the problem. And it will evolve your body and brain to handle that challenge. Got it? So this is neuroplasticity. We will touch back on neuroplasticity shortly. The next one is, you see here, this is a weak pathway. The brain wants to communicate. For example, here, let's imagine the situation that your eyesight, your target is here. Okay. The brain is getting the communication about the perception of the target here. And your release, your shoulder muscular operating system is here. This and this has to communicate so that there is a seamless, effortless movement of arrow from your bow, release of the arrow from your bow, and it reaches the target. When this neural network is weak, we tend to make error. But when there is a strong pathway between one point to another point, because your perception, eye perception, one part of your brain will be observing that. Your shoulder perception in terms of drawing the bow, that has a different communication pattern. So these neural patterns are very important to create a subconscious level of shooting. Whether it's archery or whether whatever the game it is, this neural network is very, very important. So you have to consciously put yourself in a situation, challenging situation, but in a relaxed state. Only in a relaxed state, the brain could able to form these neural networks. But in a strained state, the brain will panic. In a panic situation, nothing will work out. Got it? So the more better the pathways are, the more stronger the neural pathways are, the more better your performance. So if you want to increase a person who's practicing archery for 3 years, 2 days a week will perform poorer than a person who's practicing archery for 2 months daily, 2 times a day. That is because his neural network have become very strong within a short time frame. Many people, you see that those people who could able to perform at a very shorter time period, the reason is this. But the minimum requirement time period is 21 days. After that, it's your wish. You can go for mastering perfection. Another way of developing this neural network is mimicking the toppers. I will touch into that particular point very shortly, but next we'll see about the psycho-cybernetics. If you see, psycho-cybernetics is a science of communication, automatic control system to steer your mind to a productive goal. You people would have seen recently in a Tamil movie this came, but however, the elders over here, your parents will be knowing this. Pigeons, pigeon race. If you know pigeon race happens, they will collect all the pigeons in a container. They will take it to Mumbai or they will take it to Andhra Pradesh or they will take somewhere else. They will open all the pigeons. They are called homing pigeons. The moment the pigeons come out, it will circle the sky 3 times. Automatically, it will choose a direction and it will fly to its home. There is no GPS, there is no GIS, there is no NAVIC satellite, nothing else. But still, the pigeons could able to conveniently travel. How come this is possible? This is because the PGN has an inherent cybernetic system moving towards its goal without any hassle. That is how you people have to be. Your arrow should travel to the target without any hassle. Your body should function in such a way that without any hassle. So I'll give you one another example which is very much easy for you to understand. The example is, you would have seen cricketers, the person who's standing near the boundary line. Okay, suddenly the batsman strikes up and the ball goes to the top. This man runs and he catches. Observe carefully next time. This person has to calculate what will be the parabolic curve of the ball. Then only he could able to go and stand in the correct place. And he have to adjust. He have to adjust where the ball is coming, and he have to make sure that he is clear. He have to understand the speed in which the ball is traveling. What is the wind action? So everything is done, and he has to calculate his footsteps. And finally, he catches the ball without any much effort. Even we have done several times in our schools, catching the ball. But at the crack of the bat, the moment the bat have hit the ball, the fielder could be able to calculate where the ball is going to come. How is it humanly possible? Can you understand that there is an inherent system which the fielder have practiced again and again and again, so that his cybernetics goal-seeking mechanism could be able to show that this is where the ball is going to come, catch it. Sometimes even before we realize, we could be able to make it a point that we can just put our hand and we could be able to catch a ball. How that is happening? The only way is it happens at a subconscious level. So cybernetics is this calculating compass which is there already in your brain. The only thing you people have to do is you people have to provoke that and make it a point that you use it for a beneficial purpose. So the psycho-cybernetics is at a conscious level. This neuroplasticity and psycho-cybernetics must go hand in hand. Repeated practice, imaginary practice, visual practice. You see that you imagine that I will get a gold medal, I will get a cup, I will become an Olympic winner. That is not the correct way. Imagine how you are going to play. So just imagining is that is optimistic thinking. Optimistic thinking is the next, that should be at the last level. Here, first you have to practice it. If you see the basketball players in the initial days in the Western countries, they will be, when they were introduced to the ball, they are asked to sleep with the ball. They will be holding the ball, hugging the ball. They will be with the ball round the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They will be with the ball. You know what happens? The ball will merge with their body. They could not able to feel the difference between the external article and their body. The ball is part of their life. The ball is part of their body. So you could able to see that an amateur holding the ball and those people holding the ball. Those people could able to move the ball like anything because the ball is just an extension of their body. So their cybernetic mechanism have made it in such a way that the ball just plays the way they require. But in archery, that is a major problem. In archery, we want a complete setup. We want to arrange the bow, we want to set up the quiver, we want to put the chest guard, and you have to put the forearm guard and everything. Then you have to take up the clicker and you have to focus. So this is a very ceremonial one. So I strongly recommend that you have to, if you see the commando trainers will be in matter of seconds, they could able to assemble and reassemble the gun. But in archery, the training is not, the training is taken, the responsibility is taken by the coach. The coach will make sure that the bow is arranged and everything is ready, target is ready, and then the archer will come and shoot. Ideally speaking, there should be a quick timer, how quick the bow can be set up and how comfortably they could be able to handle the bow without shooting the first arrow. It is better they could be able to keep roaming here and there with their quiver, with their bow and all sort of things, because they get used to. They get used to the bow, and bow must become an extension of their body. when it becomes an extension of their body, it will be effortless. So, cybernetics is a very important mechanism where you follow neuroplasticity, automatically cybernetics will form. If you see, I'll tell you, in psycho-cybernetics, you people can develop, you can become a goal-seeking machine the moment you would able to make it up. So this visualization, targets, and the way you are pulling the bow, everything has to be practiced. One of the best way to combine neuroplasticity and cybernetics is you take a inspiration from an international icon, international archer. Choose one person, become a fan, go and watch how he behaves, what is his attitude, what kind of bow he uses, how his body functions in YouTube. You watch the video again and again. You mimic that. You practice the similar kind of body language, and people will say that, sir, no, his originality will go. Originality will not go. Your body is intelligent to take what is good, and it will leave away what is bad. So after that, when you try to make the postures right, you ask your mom or dad to take a photograph of you standing with the bows and arrows. Then you compare it with your icon. So by comparing it, you could able to mimic the activities, and automatically your game will improve. So you should combine this. You have to combine this inspirational setup you take through cybernetics, where you will be a goal-seeking mission, and you have to combine the 21-day practice, vigorous practice, challenging your brain as well as your body. At that point of time, neuroplasticity will come into the place. So neuroplasticity and cybernetics will go hand in hand. Okay, so here if you see that the major important activity of cybernetics is, I have taken it from one of the popular book, our brain doesn't distinguish with the imagination and reality. So our brain doesn't distinguish between the imagination and reality. Sir, imagination and reality difference கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியாது நம்ம மைண்டால. I tell you, அது முடியாது. அது ஏன் அப்படின்னாக்கா, now I'm going to give you one exercise. You people are going to practice it. I will be telling you something. You will just close your eyes and you will follow it. You see, you should not cheat. You should close your eyes and you should follow it. Then only you will understand what I'm saying here. Now we'll start. Close your eyes and hear what I'm saying. We are in a kitchen. You see, I'm showing a kitchen photo. You can see this kitchen photo. Now, close your eyes and imagine that you are standing in the kitchen. You are just moving towards the refrigerator. You're opening the refrigerator. The refrigerator is very chill. You're just scrolling the refrigerator and you could be able to see some fresh lemons in the basket. You are taking a lemon and you are coming to the kitchen table and you are rolling that lemon in your hand. It is very supple. It's a juicy fruit. You take a knife. Now you cut the lemon into two halves. It splits and there are some droplets of lemon juice spills over. You take the half lemon and you were able to sense the smell of the lemon in your nose. Suddenly, you put the lemon in your mouth and you crush it. Okay. Now you spit it out. Now you come back and you can open your eyes. Guys, those who practiced would have felt. What I told, is this real? No, it is not real. You know that. Then, why did your mouth secreted the saliva when I told that you are crushing the lemon? People who did it genuinely will know that your mouth would have secreted saliva because it want to wash your tongue, which is getting sore. Because the mind could not able to make the difference between whether there is a lemon or it is an imagination. Likewise, your mind could not be able to make much difference between the reality, distinguish between imagination and reality. So practice again and again at a mental level. I take inspiration from toppers, world-class players, their exercise, their patience, their perseverance, their breathing style, and the way they shoot. Watch their video again and again and again. Automatically, your performance will shoot up. And there is no one to, if you see that, you no need to tell anyone you are doing this. Automatically, people will come and tell you that, hey, your shooting style have improved, man. You are shooting very good. Your groupings are fantastic, and you are hitting the X without any much hassle. So, likewise, you could able to conveniently handle this. Okay, the clarity is the goal. So, the how clear you are with. You see, many people they think of winning, but many people don't have the clarity about approaching the stadium, lifting up the bow, seeing what at 70 feet of where the 70 meters where the board is. What is the array? If you ask some people that close your eyes and tell me what is the arrangement of the color, many students will get confused. So imagination must happen at all levels. Your stance, your shoulder level, the way you lift the bow, all these things must be there. Okay, so what describing the new parts to our brain, which in turn will find a way to make the image to come into fruition. That is, make it a point that you provide the challenge to your brain. Automatically, your brain would be able to convey that information to your body. You will evolve physically, and this physical evolution will automatically improve your performance. Okay. Now I'm moving on to what is called as reticular activating system. Reticular activating system. Okay. Now I'll show you a video. You people have to do something. Okay. You see, this exercise will be helpful only if you do that. If you're just watching it, there is no use. You have to put it into action. The essence of this webinar will be successful only when you learn certain things and you put it in action. So now I'm going to show you a video. In that video, there will be some guys in black t-shirt who will be playing basketball. Some guys who will be in white t-shirt who will also be playing basketball. Your job is to count how many times they are passing the ball. Okay, your job is to identify how many times they are passing the basketball. Who? White. Because the black team will have a separate ball and white team will have a separate ball. Passing means the ball should move from one hand to another hand. If someone is putting it in the floor, that is called dribbling. That is not passing. When someone passes to another person, that is passing. So white t-shirt will pass to only white t-shirt. You have to count how many times they have passed it. Okay. So we'll see that who's telling the answer correct. Okay. Shall I start?
This is a test of selective attention. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. How many passes did you count? The correct answer is 15 passes. But did you see the gorilla? This video is from research by...
So I hope that majority of you would have got the correct answer, which is 15 passes. Even if you have got one pass less or one pass more, that is not a big deal because it's just an activity on selective attention test. But the important lesson which we plan to learn from this is, how many people saw the gorilla? If you would have seen the gorilla, you would have missed the count. If you would have counted correctly, you wouldn't have seen the gorilla. So the point over here is, when your attention is completely focused to a particular task, all the negative things which is here and there roaming around you will be ignored. Your brain will not even consider that. Your brain will be focusing only on the goal. So never focus on the problems, only focus on the good things which is there. Your goal. What is your goal? Set up the goal, move step by step, and automatically you will be reaching your destination. So here I'll explain you what is the reticular activating system. It's very simple. For example, for a mother, when she is standing outside the child's school classroom, although hundreds of children are shouting, she could able to clearly identify her son's voice. In the same way, how much ever you are into some kind of sound or some kind of things, for example, let's imagine that I'm going to tell you about something which is happening now. So far, you wouldn't have noticed that event at all. But after I explain it to you, you will come out and you will say that, hey, here is a poster. This is what he told. Here is the banner. This is what he told. Until then, you wouldn't have noticed those things. But after someone have introduced it to you, everywhere you see, you will be noticing it. The same reticular activating system is the one which is working in YouTube as well. You select few videos and watch those videos. After that, the more and more information will come in the same sort of videos. In the same way, your brain will also work. What your brain will do is, when you are focusing on certain things, your brain will try to identify and get the information for you. It will be miraculous. And if, for example, you try to choose one particular topic and just keep thinking about the topic, automatically wherever you see such kind of topic related information will come to your brain. But at the same time, you are a person who is a dabbler. Dabbler in the sense, today you will think in something else and tomorrow you will think something else. You will be keep moving here and there. Your brain get confused on what is your goal, what is your target, what you are going to accomplish, and what you are planning to achieve. Nothing will work out. You know why? Because the reticular activating system gets confused and it will give a mixed one, and which is not a which will not be of any use for you people as well. So make it a point that when you start focusing on your studies, when you start focusing on archery, look for details. Have an eye for details. Every single aspect. Your coach is there to support you. I hope that there are several coaches over here. They are good coaches and they could able to assist you. But you have to go and ask questions. You have to ask intelligent questions. You have to focus again and again. Alternatively, you are playing archery in the morning. After that, you go play PUBG. Then you go watch a movie. Then you go study some science or social science, and then you do something else. Then you are a mixed bag. You are a jack of all trades but master of none. So if you are planning to play archery and you want to have your studies, have only two things. Don't try to be a master of too many things. That is one of the biggest problem nowadays. And I don't blame students, I blame parents. Because parents want their kids to be like everything. They want to be a master of everything, which doesn't happen. You see, every sportsman will make sure that he will choose a game and he will stick to the game. So I strongly recommend, if your reticular activating system has to work for your positive advantage, your neuroplasticity has to work for your positive advantage, your psychocybernetics have to work for your positive advantage. All you have to do is you have to ensure that you make it a point that you will have only two targets, two goals. One is study well, another one is archery, accomplishing in archery, improving your score, developing yourself, being physically strong, getting a much powerful bow, because you only when you get physically strong you could able to pull up a better bow. So likewise, make sure that you create a situation where you eliminate all the stress. You have only two goals, and in these two goals you try to achieve. But if you are going to have 10 goals, 20 goals, then definitely that will dissipate your energy. Your energy will be deprived and you will not be able to accomplish it. Okay, so although you haven't understood much about reticular activating system, but just be very clear, there is someone there in your brain who decides what has to be shown to you. So he decides that your subconscious mind, when you insert certain pieces of information, your subconscious mind will decide, okay, this is what is important for our survival. For that person, it will attract only those information which is required for your survival. It will show you only the things which is required for your survival. So that is about reticular activating system. Okay. And here the point is, I have explained you about psychocybernetics. I have explained you the neuroplasticity. I have explained you about reticular activating system. All these things boils down to three factors. One is you have to achieve, physiologically evolve, you have to mentally evolve, and you have to improve in terms of your focus. If all these three comes together, then no one can stop your accomplishment in the sports. Physiological evolution through psychocybernetics, neuroplasticity will make sure that you evolve mentally, and you have to fine-tune your reticular activating system so that you could able to see, focus, observe only thing which will take you towards your goal. Okay. So last but not the least, there should be a sense of direction. You see, when you're sitting in a bicycle, you can't stand straight. You have to lean here and there. But only when you start driving, you could able to stand straight. You don't need to keep your foot in the floor. So Albert Einstein says, people are like bicycles. They can keep only as long as they keep moving. So you have to regularly have targets and you have to keep moving. Small targets. Consistent improvement, continuous improvement. Then comprehension, being able to communicate, understanding the problems and the mistakes and finding a way to correct them. So if you are finding it something which you could not able to understand about the bow, then how will you shoot? So comprehension is you have to explain it to your brain. One of the best way to explain it to your brain is explain it to your parents or explain it to your friend. Automatically, in the process of explanation, you will try to simplify it and automatically you will input it in your brain. You will seed it into your brain. So along with thinking, you have to communicate. You externally communicate to someone else, automatically it will get communicated internally. Or else if you are a person who could able to relax, meditate, then in such situation, you could able to communicate directly to your brain. Then consistency. Maintaining consistency and continuation is a key factor in terms of achieving success. Without consistency, in 30 days, I have practiced under Dronacharya. Now I could able to do whatever it is. No, you have a break, that's it. There is a breakdown. Your neural patterns have come down, your physiological evolution have come down, your goal-seeking mechanism have come down, it will not work out. So choose certain things and be consistent on it. Only consistency can pay. If there is no consistency, even Arjuna has to practice on a daily basis. If he is not practicing, then there is no use. So, sir, it's lockdown time period. So what shall we do? In lockdown time period, you start imagining that you are getting into a ground, you are trying to practice it, because the more you make your mental practice perfect, your body posture and everything. Don't sometimes sitting and practicing is good mentally, but sometimes why don't you act as if you are actually performing their task? So that will also help you. So I hope, guys, the reticular activating system, neuroplasticity, and psychocybernetics, although they are complex words, I have simplified it and I have given it to you people. If you have any doubts, Uday sir has my number, so you people can get in touch with me. Okay, if you have any other doubts, you can ask me now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kishore.
That was a wonderful lecture about all those bright stuff and all. So
was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe technical terms we might not be familiar with, but the way you came up with some stories and everything, I definitely believe that children would have enjoyed that.
Fine.
So thank you.
Thank you. If at all, if there is any doubts, you collect it and you communicate it to me. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yes.
this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And the next, we'll have a doctor from Malaysia. Before saying about him, I would like to share something about the chiropractic medicine. It is a pseudo-scientific alternative medicine which was founded in the year 1895 by J.D. Palmer. So here we have a doctor with chiropractic medicine widely involved in sports field also. So we have a doctor who is going to speak about the topic chiropractic to improve accuracy in archery. So I would like to welcome Mr. Devendra Pillai Kumaran Devendra Pillai to start away his speech. Yes, I can go ahead.
Okay. Okay, sure. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you, sir.
Right. Thank you, everybody. Sorry about some technical issues earlier on. So, I want to say the first thing that thank you so much for having me on board. I've listened to a few speakers, and this is a great platform to improve the ability of archers. So the first thing for me, I want to tell people that, chiropractic is very, very common in the western part of the world, especially in USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. And one of the famous archers that uses chiropractic regularly is Brady Ellison, world-renowned recurve specialist. He's at the moment at the top of his game. So that's why I want to use him as a perfect example to make you guys understand how chiropractic can improve archery. And hopefully we get some good Q&A session after this. So basically, when we look at performance and accuracy, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system, they work together as one unit. A lot of archers, when they are in their normal archery position, the neck is either facing to the right or to the left, depending if they are right-handed or left-handed. And they end up having a lot of neck issues. Some of them got neck pain, shoulder pain, elbow pain, wrist pain. But the aim is to make sure that your body is in complete balance. Because ultimately, if you have pain, your body is going to compensate. So chiropractic is there to create the optimum space between joints. And if the optimum space is present, then the nerves can function as best as it can be. So chiropractic, again, has been around since the 1800s. And a lot of the athletes, especially in the US, for various sports, not only archery, American football, golf, tennis, they benefit from it. So the way I wanted to approach this kind of seminar and this kind of talk is to just give you a little bit of background of not only how chiropractic will improve, but what are the important things that we need to do for archery, like for any other sport. The most important thing that we always got to make sure, I hope my students that are listening on here, our budding archers, maybe future Olympic medalists, is that your warm-up is very, very, very important. Doesn't matter whether you're doing any kind of sport. If you don't have a good warm-up, you're not going to have a good session, whether it be competition, whether it be training, because you're just going to put your body at harm's way. So for us, generally, when you do a warm-up, there's tons of videos on YouTube that shows you how to do a warm-up for an archer. But generally, when I talk about warm-ups, I make sure that the entire body is being stretched. But before you go and stretch any muscle, you got to make sure that the optimum temperature is achieved. So generally, my archers would, and even around the arena, even where the practicing field is, whether it's indoor or outdoor, they would run maybe 1 or 2 laps just to get the body temperature up. And thereafter, stretch the entire body, whether it's the neck or the shoulders or the lower back or the calf, because you're going to get your body loose and prevent any injuries Once the sport is complete, once you finish doing your training or you finish doing competition, then we'd go into the cool down session and you do more or less the same thing, jog around the field for about a minute and then stretch down your entire body. You have to stretch pre and post. And this is how you prevent injury. So when it comes to particularly for warm-ups and cool downs, it's something that I do very unique, and also the chiropractor that's working with Brady Ellison that we do very unique. As soon as the warm-up is done, we would adjust the entire patient. What we mean by that, there's plenty of joints in the human body, in your spine, in your shoulder, in your elbow, in your wrist. We would assess to see if those joints are restricted. Restricted means it's not moving as it should in the normal range of motion, and then we would adjust it accordingly. And generally, a chiropractic adjustment means high velocity, low amplitude. It's all about improving the biomechanics of your athlete. So we do this after your warm-up. And then we tell the archer, okay, go through your training session or go through your competition. As soon as your cool down is done, we would get you adjusted again to reset your body to its original position. The resetting phase is very important because if you compete, for example, in tournament, you may compete Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But if you're not reset before the next stage, before the next day, before the quarterfinals or the semifinals or the finals, then you're going to underperform. And the key thing about getting chiropractic to improve archery is because archery is involving a lot of hand-eye coordination. Like the previous speaker was saying that, Saravan, golf, you're competing against yourself. And archery is just the same. It's just you and the target face. But the interesting thing about chiropractic is that when we begin to adjust the spine, is that generally archers, when they're about to shoot, their heart rate goes up. They get very nervous. They get anxious. They get tense. And they don't perform as they should. And this is especially on tournament days, event days, because the pressure is very high. Imagine you're in an Olympic final, you're in the gold medal match, and you start having palpitations because your body is not physically and mentally prepared. So what the chiropractic adjustment does based on research that I've done with previous other chiropractors, we found that by adjusting the cervical spine especially, the heart rate goes back to normal. Your breathing goes back to normal. So you're very calm and you're very relaxed before you shoot each arrow. And the crucial thing about it is, if you're calm, if you're relaxed, if you don't have any pain, then you can have a better performance. And that's how accuracy improves. Because if you're involving pain, you're very calm and being very relaxed. So by working on the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system, it shows that archers can improve to the point where they can be at the level of Brady Ellison, but it will take time. Because why? I was very privileged. I was able to meet Coach Kim in Malacca at the beginning of this year, and he was working with my wife, Naraini. Hi, Coach. I can see you on the screen there. And the one thing that a lot of those athletes that were at the conference, they started coming to me for treatment here in Kuala Lumpur, is that they found that the improvement in their accuracy improved tremendously. Because when your spine is not aligned, it's not straight, you're going to begin to compensate light or left. Your bow will begin to drop. You'll just definitely be very uncomfortable, unsettled. And you can only compensate for an X period of time before you start picking up an injury. And the common injuries we find in archers, even the top archers, is wrist, elbow, and shoulder issues. But nobody's looking at the neck. No one's looking at the spine and how it affects the total biomechanics of your body. So we want to make sure that when your archer is going out for practicing, whether they're going out for competition, they complete what we call yin-yang. They complete balance, complete homeostasis. But we also look at, when I start coaching my athletes one-on-one for competition, like my wife is currently competing for state level after beating breast cancer. we make sure that they follow a specific diet. You are what you eat. You make sure you're having the correct vitamins, because everything plays a role in sports. If you want to achieve at a high performance level, and I'm talking Olympic level, you've got to make sure your nutrition is at optimum. Your vitamins will supplement you to get your body to function better in aiding recovery. But if your spine is not in the correct position, even though you're following a good diet, good vitamin protocol, good warm up, good cool down, excellent coaching, maybe even Coach Kim is coaching you, you're not going to get to that Brady Ellison level. So for me, I want to do this presentation in a different way, because sometimes it can become very boring, very laborious, becomes very theoretical. And I looked at the participant list. I see there's quite a few archers there. So when it comes to sports and sports injuries and performance, the best way to do it is through a Q&A session where the archers, the kids, would ask questions and then give the information required on that so everybody can learn. So Kishore, that's my story, short and sweet. We can open it to the panel now, to everyone on board, to ask about how can they improve performance, what diet is important, what vitamins, and we move from there.
Sir, good evening. This is very informative. And so normally when we are practicing archery, there seems to be a neck stiffness which happens. Normally, is this a posture problem, or was this we can change our diet, or what will be your thought? What will be your advice?
Right. Excellent question, Kishore. Neck stiffness is very, 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 very common in archers, because generally you're either going to rotate your, as I said, depending on right-handed or left-handed, you're going to rotate your neck to the left or to the right. But during practice, during performance, you're practicing for many, many hours before a tournament. You are causing a lot of wear and tear, a lot of, we call it microscopic injury to the joints, to the muscles, to the ligaments, to the tendons. So thus, the neck stiffness will automatically and directly influence your accuracy level. Why? The more stiff it gets, the more blood circulation from the heart to the brain begins to decrease, oxygen levels begin to decrease, and there, the previous speaker was talking about neuroplasticity, the neurological system gets affected. And if your neurological system gets affected, your performance will decrease. So the aim is to make sure that the neck, the mid-back, the lower back, the shoulders, the elbow, all are having zero stiffness. You cannot have stiffness when you're exactly performing archery. There's no way you're going to perform. So thus, by having regular chiropractic therapy, you will find that the stiffness goes away. You find it going away because why? You're creating that optimum space in the joints to allow for neck rotation. And if you have the optimum space, the stiffness comes about when there's no space. So if you can create the space, you've got no problem. Hope that answered your question, Kishore.
Yes, sir, definitely. Thanks.
Welcome.
Any other doubts? Yes. Any other doubts? You can please go ahead and ask. Doctor.
Yeah, can I ask?
Yes,
go ahead.
Yes, Adhavan.
Good evening. My name is Adhavan. I'm one of Uday Kumar's own students. I happen to be a biotechnologist and I work with animals. I focus on drug delivery and ethnomedicine. So you were saying that stiffness can reduce performance. When we did an animal study, we tried to what we did, we induced muscle stiffness in the animals and we put the animal into a maze to see how well it will perform. But when we used this medicine and made it stiff, we saw there was a better performance and there was more adrenaline release. And we saw the animal move in a much faster rate and in a much more cognitive way, rather than hopelessly running around. So what do you think? Do you think this is also possible in humans when we wear tights, or when we wear these the tapes? I forgot the name. Kinesiological tape. Yeah. So do you think that will help in the performance and the the mental game of the archer?
All right. That's an excellent question, because we know in sports, a lot of the mind comes into play, especially in archery. I've got some very top archers here. I'm working with Malaysia, and they have sometimes a mental block. So sometimes they'll use compression socks, they'll use a wristband, they will use something in psychology, we call it the placebo effect, to help them think that they get the edge. So in terms of psychology and the placebo effect, it's very, very effective. But from a physiological point of view, from a physical point of view, stiffness is always coming there if the athlete has not followed the protocol of a good warm-up, good diet, good nutrition, and regular care. And I mean care, I mean combination of chiropractic, physiotherapy, sports massage, saunas, ice baths. Because I use the example again, Brady Ellison, obviously he's not going to share all the secrets with you, because that's why he's number one in the world. These are what these top athletes do. And the stiffness thing, he will even tell you it is there. And unless he gets the correct intervention, the correct therapy, his performance decreases. So when you look at correlation studies with animals and humans, there's always some correlation there. But the only difference is, you mentioned the study with the rats in the wheel. When you're doing it live, when you are actually out there with the athlete, live, real time, we say, then you begin to see how the biomechanics work and how you can improve it. And the aim of a chiropractor or a physiotherapist or a biokinetist is to make sure that the stiffness is always after the sport, never during the sport. So you got to make sure that the magnesium levels in the patients are good. You got to make sure they have enough water. You got to look at all these factors, because all these factors lead to stiffness, apart from the joint restriction problem. So it's multifaceted.
Okay, doctor, from your answer, there is another question.
Yes,
this from Zaid Satvika. The question is, what kind of warm-up exercises would help an archer to, from coming out of the things you said, what to stiffen? You are talking about muscle stiffening, right? So,
correct.
So what kind of exercises we can do to get out of it, actually? Warm-up exercises for archery specifically.
All right. As I said, Kishore, if you go onto YouTube, you just type in warm-up exercises for archery, you'll see tons and tons and tons of it. There's a lot of it even online. If you research it, PDF files, you'll find it. But the thing is, according to the age, of a person, the older you are, the more intense the warm-up has to be compared to a young person, 12 or 13. So warm-up and cool-down is, for me, very, very age-specific. And generally, when we're doing a warm-up exercise, if the person asks a question, can take my email, I can correspond with him or her. It's important to know, again, the age. Number two, to make sure that the warm-up is done, how can I say, very, very scientifically. Because you're looking at time. You're looking at how long should you hold the stretch for? How long should you put your shoulder in a certain position? So you need a coach or a person like myself to teach you that entire protocol before you even start picking up that bow and arrow and start shooting. So these kinds of things we see that are not done, and especially a young, very, very talented archer starting off to do archery, end up having rotator cuff tendonitis, tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, carpal tunnel syndrome, all the common things in archers. Why? The warm-up was not correctly taught, and not really done correctly. And if you don't do that from the outset, you're not going to get an athlete to be performing at the highest level and achieve their full potential.
Okay. So this is a personal question from my side.
Sure.
Does chiropractic deals with preventing the injuries, or it could be useful even to medicate the injuries? I mean, to treat the injuries actually, like shoulder dislocation.
Yes. Whenever you get, I use your example as shoulder dislocation, and a lot of archers have this, Kishore. You know that you're an archer yourself. You know that. Yes. And the reason why they have these shoulder dislocations is because, number one, the moment the first time, and again, it doesn't matter your age, when you pick up that bow, sometimes the weightage is totally wrong for you. And even Coach Kim will tell you that if you don't get the right bow for your body, for your fitness level, you're going to mess your body up. Yes, that's the first thing. But even before you get to that level, you got to make sure, like what we do at this current level in Malaysia that I'm working on the archers, they come to me first to see as if they're getting medical clearance. Is your body designed to do archery or not?
Okay.
And I'm sure everyone says, sure, everyone can do archery, yes. But some patients have got scoliosis. The spine is so severely curved. And if you don't manage that condition, you're going to pick up a shoulder dislocation. You're going to pick up rotator cuff tendinitis. So we go through a full screening procedure before we say, okay, you can go ahead and start with your archery now, but these are your limitations. These are what you need to do to make sure that your body does not get injured, because the shoulder dislocation can occur in both shoulders. It doesn't have to be even in your shooting arm. It can be your carrying arm, Kishore, And I'm sure you're pointing to your right shoulder, so I'm assuming that you're a right-handed archer.
Yes, but I don't have a shoulder dislocation, but I just showed you.
So most of the archers are right-handed. And why that shoulder dislocation will occur is because the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, the capsule of the shoulder has not been strengthened. So that's why I always coach my archers one-on-one. I say, before you even pick up that bow and arrow, we got to hit the gym. We got to get strong. We got to make sure all your musculature is strong enough to hold that shoulder into position. If not, it's going to dislocate.
Yes.
Or worse, it can dislocate and fracture, because a lot of the techniques that we go through as you get to an advanced level, the foundation work is not done. So sometimes I see the archer at the intermediate level or the advanced level, they're carrying so much of injuries because they did not do strength training. They did not get chiropractically adjusted. They did not get realigned before they even start shooting, Kishore. So it's like you're trying to run, but you can't walk.
Okay, so if someone is someone's spine is not in a position, I mean, like you said that not in a position to take up archery, would you be able to treat him with chiropractic, and then will he be able to play archery?
Correct. So what we do first for these kind of people, doesn't matter the age, we take a full spine X-ray, AP and lateral. We take the X-ray and we analyze that X-ray. And based on the X-ray, we measure the curve, we measure the angles, and then we say, okay, we got to do maybe 3 months of therapy. Okay. After 3 months of therapy, we retake the X-ray. The angles have changed because the patient has been compliant, coming for therapy, going to the gym, going to the physio to do the strengthening part, going to massage, getting the muscles nice and loose. And then I go with the archer. I said, okay, there's Coach Kim here. I want you to take over. Let's have a practice session. Let's see how it goes. And once the athlete says, okay, I don't have any injury now, then they can go to the next level. So the crucial part is, Kishore, you're giving some very, very good questions. It doesn't matter what the condition of your spine is. Chiropractic can help you to improve the spine so that you can continue with archery or start taking archery and improve your performance.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. I have a question.
Any other question?
Yeah, I have a question. My name is Raghav. I'm a physiotherapist as well as I'm an archer. So in my final year, I did a project. In my final year project, I did a study on archery plank. So it's a plank which is basically done by archers for the strengthening purpose. So I did my project and it came successful. By doing the archery plank, the score level was increased. I want to have a question in that, because doing archery plank, automatically the score increases. That was the result. But for archers who have been injured and they have been they are doing their treatment under physiotherapist or any chiropractor. So that time, so if you are treating you are treating a injured archer. So in that time, whatever archers, in what base you give the treatment, in what base you give them the prescribed exercises, varying along with the physiotherapist, because there are two types, right? They have to come under chiropractor for a treatment and as well as a physiotherapist. So how you will get along with that?
Okay. First of all, looking at the patient coming in, first of all, we've got to get the right diagnosis of what's wrong with the patient, because phases of therapy, phases of rehabilitation for chiropractor and physiotherapists, in my experience, is slightly different in opinion. But chiropractic and physiotherapy works together well for any injury. So the most important thing is that we have what we call baseline data. We have to know what the problem is. So sometimes the patient needs ultrasound. Example, they have a rotator cuff injury. We need to see how much of damage is there. Based on that, we can provide a plan for them for therapy and get them up to the point where they're pain-free and the range of motion is as optimum as it can be. And thereafter, you go into the strengthening phase. So looking at the research you've done, at your honors level, you can go into the next phase, into your master's level, or even your PhD level. You've got to look at the next phase is that once you get the archer completely rehabilitated, they don't have any injuries, they don't have any kinds of, we say, signs and symptoms of the injury that came in. The next thing that you need to do is, from a physiotherapy point of view, how can I improve the accuracy? And the only way you can do that is if you join up with the archery team and you do your own little clinical trials, because then you'll be able to see live the biomechanics, what's happening on the field, because competition is very different, training very different. And bearing in mind, I'm going to say this again, the mind-body concept, the placebo effect, really plays a big role on injury prevention. So sometimes as physiotherapists and chiropractors, we sometimes overlook that psychological component, because doing various tests, doing clinical research, we look at various kinds of tools, but that psychological component is sometimes missed. I hope I answered your question as best as we can. Thank you.
Yes. So any other questions to the doctor?
Yeah, I'd like to ask another one.
Sure.
So, Eagle Archery Academy, we generally taken a lot of para players. So, what do you think would be the course of action for them to improve their game? Because since they are para players, they have certain limitations. How do we work around those limitations?
Excellent question. I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky in a way that maybe in the last 2 or 3 months, I've been working with some para players. Some of them in a wheelchair, some of them have one leg missing, And the good thing that what's happening is that when I'm working with these athletes, because they're very unique in how they present with their problems, you have to ensure. Example, I'm going to use the wheelchair archer as an example. The reason why I'm using the wheelchair archer is because we all can kind of visualize what's happening. And I'm going to say it's a right-hand archer. When that archer is going to start, I'm saying as a beginner level now, you're coming out, you're going to take up archery, you're a beginner level. Got to make sure whether it's the physiotherapist, whether it's the chiropractor, or whether it's a coach, you got to do video analysis. Like Coach Kim earlier on, I'm sure you must have seen how effective he is. Because with video analysis, you can really see what you need to improve. Especially with the para, athlete, they have a lot of restrictions, mentally and physically. So example, on somebody on the wheelchair that's shooting, you got to make sure that the height is good enough. You got to make sure that when they are shooting, the bow is not too heavy. You got to make sure that, yes, you got to make sure, this is very, very crucial in a para athlete, that the diet and the supplements that they are taking is vital, is crucial, because their body is working at a very high metabolic rate, much higher than yours and mine. So the needs, the demands are much more. So when you start to work with the para athletes, you cannot look at it from this one direction when they're shooting. You got to look at making sure they got a good diet, making sure that they got the right vitamins. And sometimes it's trial and error. It can take you 2 or 3 months before you get the right formula, because you have different kind of Paralympic athletes, you know. Some of them have different challenges. So you have to make sure that when you're working one-on-one with these athletes, you really have to look at it from all angles. So what I do generally, I work very closely with a sports physiotherapist. We work together. We make sure that the muscles are in good condition. So we do a lot of strength training, at least 3 or 4 times a week to get them up to the standard. And then I do the chiropractic spinal realignment. So it all works together, but I still advise them on diet and vitamins. Same procedure, warm up, cool down. So with para, you need a little bit more effort in them. And some of them can become very frustrated if they pick up an injury, because their body has not been designed to do what it needs to do, but you can get there. So the crucial thing for a para athlete is, before you even start shooting, you got to start strengthening all the muscles of the neck, the shoulder, the mid-back. So the gym component is crucial. Then you get them to do the archery and start off slowly. So it's a very, very, very complex, very in-depth thing when you're working with a para athlete, because, as I said, you've got mental challenges as well as physical challenges. And if you don't meet those both needs, you have an athlete that cannot perform to the true potential.
Okay, doctor.
Yes, sir.
One more question. The thing is, we believe in archery, mainly in recurve archery, we believe and we don't recommend children to hit the gyms, to take up the weights above their shoulder, actually. Like bench press or weightlifting or any other. Like lifting the weight above their shoulders, or lifting the weight with the support of their spine. We strongly ask them not to do that. The thing is, because we don't want their muscles to be stiff, actually. We want their muscles to be flexible, like a sprinter. We want their muscles to be like a sprinter, because we repeatedly do the shots for 72 times in a competition. So I just want your point of view on that. Because we use the shoulder.
Your advice is excellent, because when you're dealing with children, and for me, children is up to the age of, for me, 14.
Yes.
What I do with kids, because I also work with a lot of children, we don't make them do any weightlifting, because weightlifting is going to mess the body up.
Okay.
They are not at that level where the testosterone levels are not high enough, whether it's girls or boys. They're not at that level, and they're going to damage their spine. So what we do with them, we call it elastic band or Clini bands. We call these bands that has different strengths. They have different tensions. And using these bands, these kids can do it at home. We teach them how to strengthen the various parts of the body by getting the muscle strong, but not bulky. Because when you're doing weightlifting, muscle develops bulk. And if you develop bulk, you will destroy the archer. There's no way you can reach the full potential. So when I have a kid, example, 10-year-old kid coming in and they want to do archery, I would spend at least 2 or 3 weeks with them, teaching them using how to use the Clini bands. They will buy different tension strengths, different colors, means different tension. Teach them how to use it at home, teach them how to use it at the practice ground. And very, very simple things, very, very simple, because the thing with children, you cannot increase muscle bulk. You got to increase muscle strength, and how you do that is using the clini bands, because you have to strengthen the shoulder capsule. So when you're doing your pulling action, you still got the strength to do it, but again, you use the excellent word, Kishore. You still remain elastic. So I call it the bamboo principle. You can bend it. It's very, very elastic, very pliable, but doesn't break.
Yes. So you want
to strengthen, you have to strengthen all the small muscles, all the small ligaments, the capsule of the shoulder. Strengthen it. Keep on strengthening. Keep on strengthening. You got to mimic the action of the sport using the clini band for kids. And these kids later on, they develop, they become 16, 17. If they're still in the sport, then you take them into the gym, and then you take them to the next level. So very, very good question, because I see a lot of kids, they've been coached incorrectly. They've been tell the coach, no, you got to do weights. You got to do push-ups for me. Their body is completely ruined. Now I've then got to fix it, rehabilitate it, start from scratch. But you're losing 2 or 3 years where they could have been at a much higher level, but because of injury and the wrong advice, they're starting much lower.
Yes. Sir, another question from a parent here. They are asking, this is a question from the parent, they are asking that when we try to lose our body weight, we do some workouts, right, to lose our body weight. That time, will the muscle get tightened or it will be tender? That's their doubt. Or how to lose the weight actually? That's their doubt.
All right. I'm going to use Brady Ellison as an example again.
Okay.
He's not in the body shape of a Cristiano Ronaldo. He doesn't have a 6-pack or an 8-pack. You know, he's a chubby kind of guy. You know what I mean? He's chubby. So a lot of parents, they ask me the same question, but doctor, I want my child to be lean and ripped and be like Cristiano Ronaldo. So I ask them the same question. Why? What's your aim here? Because the ultimate thing that we will need to make sure is that the archer has got good muscle tone, has got good muscle strength. Sure, your body mass index will be still high. You may be a little bit chubby. Look at Barry Ellison. He's even got a tummy, Yes. The crucial thing that parents need to understand is that long as you're within your body mass index, in archery, it's not about getting ripped and lean and getting an 8-pack or a 6-pack. No. You will destroy your child. You will destroy the mental side of the game, and they will not enjoy doing what they want to do. Because if you want to become a 100-meter sprinter like Usain Bolt, different story. You have to get ripped and lean. You have to. There's no two ways. But an archer, I got a top archer here in Malaysia. He's currently the champion, the national champion for the compound section. He's around 100 kilos. Chubby guy. But he'll destroy you in competition. He will destroy you. Actually, you always have to look at what we say balance. When you're talking to your kids, don't make that concept of you have to be a certain body weight, because you're dealing with a different sport here, totally different sport. And if you can understand that, yes, you need to lose a little bit of weight in certain parts of your body, but it's within reasonable limits. Do not mess a child up by giving them this concept of, yes, you need to lose weight. Why? What for? If you can pull the strength and hit the bullseye every single time, you've got your objective. So the aim is when you're coaching kids, especially with superior talent, you have to be very careful of that mind game of body weight.
So we are running out of time. Any other doubts?
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Shakti Kishore, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sir, before the competition, how should our mind be, sir?
Okay.
No, this is he's talking about the physical things, okay? The mind coach will be next. Pushot will be telling you that doubt, okay? You can ask any question regarding your fitness, warm up, anything regarding that.
Can I ask another one? Yes.
Sure. Please, last question. Please go ahead.
See, if you take American football, you're supposed to have a nice rigid build, and if you're going to take sports like tennis, you're going to be focusing on flexibility. What type of body type would you prefer for an ideal archer? What is the ideal type?
Okay. The ideal archer, again, I come back to it because he's so good at what he does, is Brady Ellison. But if you look at his body composition, his muscle to fat distribution, you'll find that his upper body is extremely strong. Extremely strong. So his biceps are well defined, his triceps are well defined. But again, he's a chubby guy. So when you look at an archer in terms of its body type, remember archery using a lot of upper body. So you got to make sure your upper body is, we say, strong. You don't need to have ripped muscles where your pecs are popping out of your shirt, but you got to make sure that you are strong enough to pull the weight that you can without overstraining the muscles. But in archery, I always say this to my archers, you also have to make sure that your legs are strong enough to carry your body weight. So I always do a full body workout with all my archers that I'm training one-on-one. But our focus and our core and our emphasis is on making sure that your upper body, and for me, that's your traps, your biceps, your deltoids, your upper body is strong enough, but not bulky. That's the key body type we want to create. And if you go on to looking at all the pictures of Brady Ellison, you look at the type of body that he is. The reason why he's so successful is because he's got a balance for his body. And look at some top Korean archers. Koreans generally, they're very thin, they're very slim, they're very sleek. But again, they're very strong. So looking at I always look at genetics. I always look at genetics, whether you're Indian, whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're colored, whether you're Korean, you're Asian. It plays a body type role on your sport. So that's why when you begin to tailor make your training program for your archer, you have to also take in a lot of considerations in terms of genetics. Are they mesomorph? Are they ectomorph? Are they endomorph? And how can you get them to the level of strong enough, but not bulky, but at the same time, as Kishore said, to be flexible. So thus, you have to make sure that you tailor make your program for your archer specifically based on the genetics and the body type. Mesomorph, ectomorph, or endomorph.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor. That was an interesting interactive session we got actually. And we got many informative things about chiropractic and its influence in the field of sports. And we are really glad to have you here.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure to share the knowledge. Sharing is caring.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Welcome. Take care. Have a good evening.
Yes. Please take care too.
Yes, bye.
Yes. Okay, now, regarding our previous session we had with Mr. Purushot, anybody have doubts regarding your preparations before the competition and after the competition regarding the mind thing about archery? You can go ahead and ask your questions to Mr. Purushot. Only 3 or 4 questions will be allowed because we are running out of time. You are not clear. Your audio is not clear.
Shakti Kishore, you are asking that whether what kind of mindset you will be having before you attend a tournament. Is that your question?
Okay. So, sir, you can go ahead and answer the same. Right?
No. He have made the gadget. Shakti Kishore, can you confirm that whether it is right?
I think he is online.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Yes.
How should be our mind felt before the competition?
Okay.
The same.
Fine. So normally, if you see that before the tournament, it is very natural that we will find a bit of anxiety. We will be a bit expecting what's going to happen, and we'll try to challenge ourselves. We'll be in a bit of a stressed position. This is normal. How much ever we provide advice, we provide techniques, people will normally get that anticipation. But whatever the case may be, the international archers, what they do is they normally have a motivating song which they will be hearing. They will be having a breathing pattern, breathing exercises before they do it up, and they avoid eye contact with certain things which will deprive their energy. So you can make sure that normally before the tournament there will be some sort of warm up which will be done. Post that warm up, it's good to have a good breathing exercise. And after having some breathing one, you will have to choose. You see, sometimes you will have a positive feel when you are hearing a particular song or a particular music. A coach cannot give this to you. It is you who have to choose which one motivates you, because it might be a movie scene, or it might be a movie song, or it might be a specific music, or it can be a motivational talk. So you should not suddenly at one point of day you should not go and check which will motivate me. When in your lifetime, when you are doing various activities, you will come across suddenly something which makes you happy, which will makes your endorphins to secrete, and you are very active. So when you hear such kind of things, you have to note it down. So those things you can use it as a tool when you are attending a tournament. Before attending a tournament, you could able to, breathing is a normal thing which you have to do. Warming down and warm up is a very important one which you have to do. The third one is you have to hear a music or something else so that you could able to feel relaxed. And very important thing is you should avoid contacts which will deprive your energy. For example, people who may demotivate you, or people who may show you some signs which might pull you down. So those things you have to avoid, and you can proceed with that. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Shakti.
Another question?
Yes, sir. I'm Jishnu. I have a question. I'm
Yes.
from Archery Academy.
Yes.
We are positive before the competition, but how to keep our mind calm when something went wrong happened to the bow and are in the competition, sir?
Okay. You see, that is what when I was taking the lessons, I was explaining you about the neuroplasticity. Normally, when something goes wrong, for example, let's imagine that a particular archer have hit a miss. The arrow didn't even fill in the board. So in this situation, normally in an international tournament, he is out of the tournament. Okay, but when we speak about sportsmanship, it includes the way we are getting ourselves composed and we could able to handle what is going to come. So unless and until you are going to have too much of expectations and I have to hit X in all the places, then you will feel again and again stressed. That is the reason coaches will always tell you that play the game. Don't focus on the results. Results will automatically come. You have to enjoy the game and you have to play the game. Only when there is enjoyment and you realize and you play the game, then in such situation you could able to automatically be composed and get back to line, and you can start shooting on the way. But when you are practicing and you are shooting up, when something goes wrong, you don't get much disturbed. But when it's a tournament, you are under the pressure that you have to win the tournament. So that pressure itself will ruin the situation. So please make it a point that even when you are going for a tournament or when you are going for a practice session, you enjoy the game and you practice it. If you are going to press yourself with too much of targets which has to be achieved in this tournament, and this is the score I have to achieve, likewise if you press it up, it will deprive your energy. Alternatively, you play it for fun, play it for happiness, play it for performance, and things will fall in place. So even if there is a person who have hit a miss, still he could able to recuperate and he can come back at a later point of the tournament. Until the tournament is complete, no one could able to predict the results. Okay, so be cool and play it for the purpose of playing with joy. Even when something goes wrong, you could able to recuperate yourself. But if you are playing with certain goals and other things which is in your mind, that itself will keep on depriving your energy. Okay, so just enjoy the game. Automatically, things will fall in place.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, I think that's it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
And special thanks for Mr. Krishnan. I saw his entire session and the way he answered all the questions. It was fantastic. Thanks, Mr. Krishnan. Thank you so much. Thanks, Kishore. Thanks, Kishore. Thank you. You can.
Thank you. Yes. Now I would like to welcome Mr. Dayananda, CFO of Eagle Archery Academy. He's gonna talk a few minutes about future prospects topic. Now I would like to welcome Mr. Dayananda, please.
Hello. Can you hear my voice?
Yes,
Is that
yes,
okay?
sir. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Udai Kumar sir. I very humble to attend this session, and since I have very little time, I will just share you brief information about what we are planning for aspirant archers in the near future. Maybe in the next 6 months' time, or maybe in next 12 months' time, or maybe we have kept a schedule something like what we are going to do specific activity in Eagle Archer Academy. Okay. The first thing which is going to happen in the next 6 months' time, we are going to start prize money tournaments for aspirant archers. Okay, prize money tournaments. Earlier and all, maybe you must have come across. We used to conduct a lot of tournaments through Eagle Archer Academy, but prize money was not announced. Now we are actually planning for prize money tournaments for aspirant archers, which will actually motivate them for future. That is number one. Number two, myself and Uday Kumar sir, we are actually planning for getting affiliation with National Sports University for future benefits of the archeries or aspirants. Okay. For example, see, you must be knowing there is a university in Tamil Nadu itself for physical education development. There is a university and there is courses, programs for what do you call coach developments, physical educations, physiotherapists, okay, and few other courses. But there is very less opportunity for coach developments in our India. Okay, and you must be aware of Mr. Uday Kumar. He actually traveled all the way to Australia to complete one of the prestigious coach training program, and he is the only one who could actually accomplish that. Okay, so in a similar way, myself and Mr. Uday Kumar sir, we are actually working on several aspects of future developments, keeping archery in the mind. And at the same time, we also want to add up few other sports activities in the academy. So I hope Mr. Uday Kumar, if he doesn't object me, I may also would like to tell you that we may introduce few other sports, and also we may change the name of Eagle Archery Academy to Eagle Sports Academy, bringing all the new technologies, new modern equipments for aspirant archers, aspirant sports persons. So this is our near future plan, and we are actually planning for. We have kept a specific target of next. We are going to achieve this in next 12 to 24 months.
Okay, sir. That was a nice thing for archers from Eagle. Eagle Archery Academy, and also talented archers from across Tamil Nadu. We can adopt them and help them through your help, actually, sir. That was a kind gesture from your side, and we are happy. Thank you once again, sir. And once again, I would like to introduce you to all. This is Mr. Dayananda, the Chief Financial Officer of Eagle Archery Academy. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Samikya Das. He was a former auditor for the Archery Association of India, and he's also the son of General Secretary of Archery, Odisha Archery Association.
Now I'd like to invite Das sir to have a few words regarding this webinar actually. இல்லையா இருக்காரு ஷாலினி தாஸ் அப்படின்னு இருக்கு. கால் பண்ணுங்க சார் அவருக்கு.
முகேஷ் என்னோட வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணுப்பா.
வோட் ஆஃப் தேங்க்ஸ் சொல்லிடுறீங்களா?
ஒரு தாஸ் சார் யாரா தெரியலையே.
ராகு மொபைல் எல்லாம் நம்ம மொபைல்ல இருந்து கால் பண்ணுங்க.
முடிச்சிடலாம். ஒரே நிமிஷம். கிஷோர் நான் வோட் ஆஃப் தேங்க்ஸ் பேசிடுறேன்.
Okay. Now I would like to welcome Mr. S.N. Udayakumar, the Director of Legal Archery Academy, to give away the vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all. I welcome everybody once more, and I want to give vote of thanks to each everyone right from beginning, right from morning session. I first thank Mr. Maga Singh sir for his valuable time with us, and he has given us motivation, and he has blessed us with a lot of things, and he has promised us to, as Daya told, that we are planning for a very big tournament in future, as a prize money tournament. All these things will be published in our website, and thank you very much, sir, for your precious time, and I want to thank Mr. Coach Kim, because without him this webinar would be, I cannot express in words that because of him it's a fulfilled webinar actually, and he has taken a lot of time, and he has presented in such a way. I got a very good feedback from all the participants that he has done a very good wonderful session in the morning, and we are all our archers are blessed, sir. Once again I thank the coach Kim for his valuable time, and when I asked him, he immediately accepted our invitation, and it was immediately he told that I will be part of your webinar. And thirdly, I want to thank Mr. Martin Spraker, sir, because he is the mentor for me and our academy. And he only, when I one of my assistant coach only told that, Rajuri told that we can conduct a webinar. Immediately I asked Martin sir that we are going to conduct a webinar. He told, okay, go ahead today, and all the best, no problem. You conducted a webinar and archery. And then with this blessing also, I started, and each and every stage he guided me to right from the fixing of the speakers and the designing and everything. He has guided us, and I thank for his valuable time, because he is the Tamil Nadu Volleyball General Secretary, and he is the founder of beach volleyball and in India. Especially you want to tell him, because he's a very, very busy man, and because you know very well, in India volleyball is the key sports, and he is the key person in Tamil Nadu volleyball and All India Federation level also. I want to thank him in such a way that he guided us and me to conduct this seminar very successfully. And thank you very much, sir, for your valuable time. And thirdly, I want to thank Coach Richie Chia. Interesting fact is that when I went to Australia to do my coaching program, basically I met Richie, and he was so humble, and he was in that time, 4 years back, he was very good to everyone who attended that coaching program, and he was teaching us that in that time himself he was level 3, and he was in para, and I am also in para sports. So both of our thing is synced, and we got in a very good relationship, and we developed a very good relationship throughout these years. And I thank him for his valuable time and explaining about the target panic, whatever he explained in such a way that a basic kid also will be knowing that what is a target panic and everything. And thank you once again, Richie. And fourthly, I thank Mr. Saravana Kumar, the co-founder of M-Force, because lately only I came to know about him. Mr. Martin sir introduced me, so I thought that okay, because already I have fixed the speakers, so I told that we can give him 10 minutes of time. So no, we cannot, and the next time we can provide you, sir, thing, and we can a full pledge webinar with you, and in future we'll definitely will be using this. So thank you very much for to come and participate in our webinar. And fourthly, our Dr. Kumaran Devendra Pillai. When I met him in Malaysia February this year, so he was very enthusiastic and very energetic physio who was working here and round in the ground. And I met him, I was talking, he also got a vision and he was traveling. And I also told that we are working we want to work together, and I want to bring a lot of talents from Tamil Nadu, from India. And he told, right, coach, I am here always with you. And what is the competition? Whatever thing you tell, immediately I'll be with you. And so when I fixed this webinar, I called him. I was looking for a coach in Comfort, but unfortunately, I didn't get a card. Then I called doctor that this is happening. Okay, he told immediately, okay. And I also will be a part of it. So he is a very nice person, humble-hearted, and immediately told that he was very busy in a chiropractic actually. Now also today also he got clinic and patients, and apart from that, he has gave us a valuable time and the discussion what we had, and everything was fantastic. And I was very grateful and very thankful to Kumaran, Dr. Kumaran, and I was thank you very much, Kumaran sir, for your valuable time. And fourthly, I want to speak about Pushot, the founder and director of Education IAS Academy, and my old student actually. Myself and Pushothaman is having a relationship from 2011. So when he came as an archer and he introduced to me and what is that you want to tell that the bonding between what Kumaran Saravana was telling, the bonding between the coach and the archer, because that relationship is still we are carrying out for the past 8 years actually. So apart from this thing, because he is working in HCL and he was a trainer of program, he has trained I'm thinking about thousands of people in HCL, and he has given a lot of training sessions in IAS academies. So he is a very well speaker in public now. Even though he is very humble and he is actually to me always he is respect that coaches level, and he will be discussing a lot of things actually with him, and he will be sharing a lot of information how to promote, how to do, and how to develop the archery, the mind coaching, and all these things. In the past so much of 8 years, he has brought in a program and we have designed in a book. So we have published a basic archery book also. Anybody interested, we can, it's cost about 200 rupees only, you can buy and we can go through. So we have, in Eagle Archery Academy, we have prepared a basic program, book, and you can have all the information about the basic archery. So he and he is the mainstream to develop that kind of program. So when I asked him that, Pushot, I am going to do a webinar, he told, okay, sir, the last speaker is me only. Because he'll be telling that I'll be behind the scene, but you must, any speaker is coming, I'll go out. Otherwise, I'll be, I told, no, Pushot, you must be there inside because from when I was going to so much of difficulties, he was with me actually. He came to my house and spoke about in so much of situation, in so much of difficult situation. He came and that he told that you must take archery and you want to do it, and so you must be in the field and like that. So he knows in and out of me about our academy and all these things. I'm sharing about a lot of things with him about the future plans, what our academy is going to do, and everything. And finally is Daya, and he is actually a basic cricketer. Actually, he is also from Karnataka, and he is having a very good vision. We met about 12 years back when myself and Daya, and we are traveling in the same track that we want to do something for sports from the grassroots level. And he is having a very bright future mind and developed everything with him. Every day by day we are talking about our sports, our vision, and everything. He will motivate me like in such a way that we will one day will achieve that right height. So in this webinar itself, this is the first webinar conducted by Eagle Archer Academy in India. We are so much proud to announce this, and we have conducted 14 tournaments so far in the state level, district level, and then a prize money like that as well. So we are coming out with a very big prize money tournament, and we are going to do in a national level tournaments like that. We are going to tie up all these things. So I would like our host Kishore. He is actually the first coach of the assistant coach of Eagle Archer Academy, director of Coimbatore division, and he has done a very good job. And we coordinated with Rajdurai also, and our supporting staffs. Our para player Archer, Mr. Subhash, you only designed all these things, and Mr. Mukesh, who's a technical person, and my son Dr. Raghav, he is also a physiotherapist, and he had done. I want to thank my family and who supported me to do a lot of activities in archery. Being a sportsman from the childhood, I have the dream, and I want to. And basically, one parent from Tirchi also. Startingly, basically, they have they only gave this idea to start in a webinar and do for the children. So in this time, I want to really tell the archers and the coaches who are all present in this. The time is very near. Actually, telling that so when this COVID is over, you be prepared for the very big tournament is going to come ahead with a very big prize money. Okay, so it is very important that you train your archers, and it's a surprising announcement is there that in this tournament coaches also will be getting the prize money. That is the main part that nobody is done in India. We are going to first introduce first prize archers, and and this coach also will be getting the prize money, and a limited prize money will be fixed. So coaches also will be benefited, and they can do it. And in the coming month, we are coming with a very big plan in the Zoom. So I'm working out with our Malaysian counterpart. So how to conduct and how to do it. A very short announcement will be there by next month end. I think it will be there. So all the archers prepare and get yourself fit. And I will tell opportunity will knock the door. You must maybe get ready. Okay, so opportunity is almost coming and knocking the doors of your steps. And your things and your archers, coaches, you must get ready for the future programs that are going to be conducted at Eagle Archery Academy. And once again, I thank everybody who worked for this successful webinar to made this grand success. And I wish all the best in future. On behalf of entire Eagle Archery Academy team, I wish you all and safe and be safe and a happy health and happy year to come. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending the. Thank you very.
Parents side they want to give a feedback for 30 seconds.
Wait. I did. Once again, I tell you, the feedback form will be sent, and those who are filling the feedback forms, then only the e-certificate will be given. So please fill up the forms and send it to the in the mail, and we'll be in that comments and everything is there, and we'll give you the e-certificate shortly. Because in the feedback form, the spelling mistake you check and gender everything you fill up, then that only will be printed in the e-certificate. Okay, so I'm telling all the parents and coaches, thank you very much, and thank you very one and all for this wonderful participants. I want to thank and all the speakers and guest speakers and archers, coaches, physiotherapists, sports enthusiasts, and everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, now anybody? Now I heard that someone wants to give a feedback 30 seconds.
Yes. Hi. So thank you, Eagle Archery Academy, for this wonderful opportunity for us. So in one day, you could cover so much of variety of experiences. Sharing all these experiences, amazing actually. So just one thing I want to share. So we had attended a webinar earlier. In that, people spoke only in Hindi. Okay, when we didn't understand, we asked the speakers to speak in English. They could not, and they removed the students from the meeting, whoever is from Tamil background. So in this webinar, we had no language barriers, so which was excellent. So we want to appreciate all of you for that. And the second thing is, it was very well organized. So that is one thing that I want to quote on. And then we experienced this in the past, which is there was one tournament where there was heavy wind, boat fell down, and people were shivering when it happened in the north. So as all of this has happened, students became panic. But I believe after this webinar and after this session of being in the present, people should not think what has happened in the past or in the future, just play right now. So that is the key message that we can take from this webinar, which was very wonderful. So thank you for organizing again.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you. Which place you are speaking, madam?
Chennai, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. One of the parent has put that you can conduct the webinar in Tamil. தமிழ்லையும் நல்லபடியா பண்ணலாம். இப்போ ஆக்சுவலா ஸ்பீக்கர்ஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இது நம்ம வெபினார் ஒரு எஃபெக்ட்னால நம்ம வந்து இது ஒரு இது ஏன்னா இதுல 2-3 கண்ட்ரில இருந்து பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேச வச்சோம். கூடிய சீக்கிரம் தமிழ்லயும் ஒண்ணு கண்டிப்பா வந்து நம்ம பசங்களுக்கு புரியுற மாதிரி கண்டிப்பா செய்வோம். அதுல எந்த மாற்றம் இருக்கு. தேங்க்யூ. எனிமோர்
Kishore? Any other feedback? Anyone wants to say any feedback?
Kishore, this out of time. Can you hear me, Kishore?
Yes.
Okay. Malay welcome to all of you. So I'm the Samikya here from
Yes.
Odisha Archery Association. Although you see me logged in through my wife's system, so it comes up as Shalini Das. So don't get confused.
I called you up, sir, previously actually.
Okay.
I called you up for.
So okay, I'm not in a position to start my video, so please excuse me for that.
Yes, sir, no problem.
But the fact of the matter is that this was not only a good kind of a webinar, and I think that most of the people and almost everyone who has joined in this webinar would be getting benefited in the long run and the short run also. Not only in the scope of archery, but in the personal aspect also. I am not an archer, I am an administrator. That's what I tend to call myself. But this was a learning experience for me, and this was a wonderful experience, to be more precise. So I would like to thank Uday Kumar for kind of sharing the invite with me and exposing me to this webinar. And at the same breath, I would like to thank all the speakers. This was kind of an well meticulated and a kind of a well explained concept. I don't think after hearing any one of the speaker there was an kind of an iota of doubt or a confusion as to what they were trying to convey and what's the takeaway out of this session. So I congratulate Eagle Archery Academy, and I also look forward to kind of an attending more sessions and more about archery and these aspects covering archery. The limitation, I see that one of our attendees or maybe parents, they have kind of raised a concern that this session should be in Tamil, and there was a session in Hindi which they had problem. So I understand the kind of a generic difficulties. But as Uday Kumar said in Tamil, I could just make it out a little bit, that conducting a webinar with international panelists, and that too in Tamil, would be an Herculean task. So I think English is one language that we should all be comfortable with, and we can have those kind of a seminar. And I was very interested and very keen to bring in the coaches from Odisha Archery to attend this webinar. But I was again apprehensive because of this language barrier. But I'm sure that I would be taking some feedback, maybe translating it to our local language, Odia, and sharing it with them once the recording and everything Uday Kumar shares with me. And I'm sure that they would kind of learn a lot more than what they have been practicing right now. So the biggest challenge that I see is I have kind of a very limited knowledge about archery and the coachings and other stuff. But whatever limited I have seen, I feel that the biggest challenge is monotony in the entire coaching arena. So whatever has been taught or whatever has been said to a coach, they kind of meticulously follow it without applying the mind that there could be other aspects also which could enhance or which could add value to this game. So that value addition or that enhancement is somewhere lacking in the grassroots level. I'm not talking about like the camps for national teams or other stuff. I'm sure there would be some kind of an improvement process being done, and I'm aware that there is a mental trainer there, there's a physiotherapist there. But to reach up to that level, you need a lot more than practice or techniques or sessions. So I think this kind of a sessions, this kind of a webinar, this kind of an interactions with eminent personalities is going to help archery at a grassroots level, and it's going to make those coaches, the parents, the archers understand more in depth archery, the benefit and the technique and the methodology of becoming a world-class player. So the moment I feel that the moment a person takes up a bow and arrow, he or she aspires to perform at the world level. So the training should, from the day one, should be at that level. You cannot have a kind of a training like mediocre training and expect a person to reach up to a world-class level. So you have to give a world-class training to everyone on the day one itself, so that later on they go and kind of be a world-class player. So I think Eagle Archery Academy, and I'm sure the Eagle Archery Academy is working in this direction. I want to wish them all the very best. Whatever support, help I could kind of give to them, I'll be more than happy to extend my support and help. So congratulations and thank you so very much. And I look forward to having this kind of sessions more often at regular intervals. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words and feedbacks. We very well know that we are doing a lot of things in Tamil Nadu and Chennai. You asked, as you told that we also looking for that level of training to be conducted with the international coaches and all the supports and everything. So in future, you definitely will see a lot of talents coming up, sir. As you wish, we are going to conduct a lot of program, and hopefully, we'll by God grace, we'll do it, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for your words. Thank you. Kishore, where are you?
Anybody else? We'll close the session.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks to you, sir. Final.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much, and be safe and have a safe day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mukesh?
Close பண்ணலாமா சார்?
Close பண்ணிடலாம்ப்பா. ஒண்ணே பிரச்சனை. Bye.